Good afternoon, everybody. It's still raining here in eastern Kentucky. I'm kind of stuck in my house because it's raining pretty hard, and my birds are not happy. But it's 4:44 p.m. on March 26, 2024. Thank you, everybody, for your feedback on the videos that I posted about the stonewalling by Judge Gabbard. Yes, Judge Gabbard, he's actually in charge. He oversees the entire county's administrative government county functions. That includes the roads department. That's right. Oh, and I got to give you a little information about, I call him Judgy Pudgy. I'm sorry. You know me by now. I've got a name for everybody. You know, my chickie poos, my guinea gang stalkers, the ski mask neighbor, the whole bit. So I've got a name for everybody. He's Judgy Pudgy. Judgy Pudgy claims to be some kind of a minister, and he has some kind of a church here or some minister stuff here. And this is just my opinion and my observation, because I could name other people that put on the minister thing and open a alleged church and have alleged services. It's literally a tax shelter. It's a tax shelter to hide a lot of money and also to get donations from people that are free. It's like free money, because there are still generous people out there. There are people that donate to my cat rescue, and I really appreciate it. But unlike these ministers and stuff, they don't give you a receipt. They don't tell you that it's tax deductible. Right, when you've got a 501c3 nonprofit, your donation is tax deductible. A lot of people don't choose it, forget about it or whatever, or maybe it's not enough money. Tax deductions are not so great anymore. It used to be where you could write off all of your donations, and now it's like only a small percentage, so some people don't even care. So yeah, it's just a method for sheltering money, especially when you're not doing it full time. It's just like a part-time on the side kind of thing. So let's talk about stonewalling, okay? But wait. Before we get into the stonewalling, please hit the thumbs up. My name is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading. I moved from Manalapan, New Jersey, in a home I lived in for 30 years as original owner. I lived down the block from the Manalapan Police Department. I also lived down a few houses away from another woman that was targeted. She had two girls. They were older than my daughter at the time. And one of them, both of them were super smart kids, super smart girls. But, people would ostracize them because one of the girls was very creative and artsy, artistic. And she was the kind of girl that wore the black lipstick and dyed her hair black and stuff. But she was so well behaved, so nice, so intelligent. She never bothered anybody, but she got picked on and bullied, and it was her mother that became stalked and harassed and broken into by no other than how do I call them? What do people call them? The gang, the law enforcement gang down the block. Yeah, so they targeted her too. So they seem to hate women that are divorced with children that live alone in a big house. She had a house just as big as mine. It was on the opposite side of the street down the block. They were forced to move because she got really sick. I don't know whether or not she knew what was going on or whatever, but they forced her out, and they actually moved to another state. And to the best of my knowledge, somebody told me that she passed away a couple of years ago, which is horrible, disgusting, since I know that she was a targeted female. But anyway, this is what they do to women. They hate women. I don't know why. why would they hate somebody like me? I speak out. I'm honest. I keep pretty good notes. I've won lawsuits in the past. Why would they hate somebody like me? Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine why. But I'm going to tell you that I did have a boyfriend many years ago. And he was real honest with me most of the time, And I remember, he escorted me to court one day. That's the day that another lawyer pulled me aside and said, that was the best performance I've ever seen. I said, honey, that was no performance. I said, I'm defending my daughter here, and that piece of crap lawyer was trying to steal money out of her pocket. But anyway, I remember him telling me, he said, you know what? You're the kind of person, people are either going to love you or hate you. Yeah, he said people are either going to love you or hate you. So, and I'll tell you another tidbit that's hilarious. It's only hilarious given the fact that I'm targeted now and that these criminals put me to sleep, and you too, with radio frequencies, and they knock you out to the point where bells and whistles and alarms could go off and you won't wake up. And this is very serious, covert torture, and very damaging to every people. People need to be aware of this covert torture, the silent weapons for quiet wars or whatever that is in that book. But anyway, this is the story. So he stayed over one weekends, right? We're sleeping together in my bed. I'm asleep, and it's in the morning. The lights, I remember the lights being on and stuff. And suddenly I sense I'm asleep. And this is what a light sleeper I was. I could hear everything that was going on when I was asleep. So suddenly I feel like this presence of somebody over me. I jerk my eyes open, and it's my boyfriend. And he's staring at me. I said, what are you doing? He said, I wanted to make sure you were breathing. Yeah. I said, of course I'm breathing. He said, like, why did you wake me up? He said, you were so quiet and so still. I wasn't sure if you were breathing. So this is a true story. So this is how easy it was to wake me up. That was my normal sleep patterns. I know everything that's going on when I am asleep. Not anymore. Okay? But anyway, I want to mention a story in case you didn't hear it. It was the first story I heard this morning. And it was by a YouTube creator who actually lives here in Kentucky. It's Dabu 77. DAHBOO77. And what happened was, the port of Baltimore is paralyzed after a container ship strike collapses a bridge. Ongoing recovery operation. This is the title of his video. Now, I watched the video. I was absolutely shocked. Not only because I saw the tanker, the ship, this container ship, I saw it stop and then go. And it seemed like, I'm just going to describe it as disoriented. Okay? I'm just going to describe it as disoriented. And I believe that it was my personal opinion based upon my experience and viewing it, that this container ship was targeted. Either it was deliberately internally sabotaged, like he could have been put to sleep temporarily. His controls could have been inoperable temporarily. They could have stopped up. Somebody could have externally controlled his controls or his vision or something. But either way, this was not the kind of accident created by the driver. I don't know what you call it. The driver of a boat. What do you call a driver of a boat? The container ship. It wasn't his fault. Something was done to sabotage that container ship. So I'm going to show you a little bit of it in case you didn't hear about the news. It's only 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And then we're going to go into what stonewalling is and how I was stonewalled by Judgy Pudgy and his entire staff today.
Abu 7. You guys are looking at a large cargo ship from Singapore that has crashed into the Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. This has triggered a mass casualty event. The entire bridge has collapsed. At least 7 vehicles, including 1 tractor trailer, in the water. 7 people remain missing, although there could be more. 2 people have been rescued, and sonar has detected multiple vehicles in the water, with officials stating that there was absolutely no indication of an intentional act.
Okay, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 minute. That so far they're saying that it was not an intentional act. I'm just going to beg to differ. From what I read, that the driver of the container ship, he was extremely well knowledged in how to maneuver this container ship. He had years of experience. What was even more alarming is that when you see him circling around, you could see him like stop and then go and then stop, and then when he goes, he pummels into a support of the bridge. I have never seen the entire bridge collapse in the manner that it did. Like, how is this even possible? Let me show you.
Saying that it was an accident, and I actually have footage here I want to show of when this all unfolded. That is a current look at the spot. You can see as the boat comes into frame here, it has some kind of power loss and gets its power back. Now this is the first power loss right there. It seems to come back, and then they lose power again. That's when they hit the bridge and the whole thing goes down. An absolutely horrific event. You can see thick smoke coming from the ship as well. I'm not sure if it's from the stack or if something was on fire. You can see recovery again. And then it's too late. Right here, it's about to collapse. And there it is, the entire bridge going into
Is that amazing?
water.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Something that's going to take some time as rescue units are out here trying to recover the vehicles and the people that are in the water after this event. So sad that there's a loss of life connected with this, and very tragic. You don't see something like this every day. But they're ruling out that it was on purpose, and they're saying it was an accident. I will update with more information as I get it. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Hit that subscribe button. Join me for the live streams Monday and Friday on Rumble and D Live. You'll find...
Okay, they're going to call this an accident. I'm not going to call it an accident. I'm sorry. Now, did you see that bridge? That was a beautiful bridge. What is the likelihood of... I don't know how much this container ship weighs. When it turned around and hit the base of the bridge, it wasn't going fast. It didn't like plow into the bridge. It just kind of knocked it. I don't know, it just seems so surreal and bizarre. Please leave your comments down below. If you've heard about this story, this is just heartbreaking. 7 people. 7. Do you know what 7 is? I'm just going to tell you guys. When you see the numbers 7, 14, 28, 29, 21, these are, 22, 33, 44. You see these numbers. I'm sorry, guys. This is plans. 7 is Saturn. It is a Saturn cycle. It is the first Saturn station. Then you've got the Saturn opposition at 14 years old. Then you've got the Saturn return at 28. It's between age 27 to 29. It depends. It depends on the birth chart. It's all Saturn, Satan related. So anyway, please leave a comment down below if you heard about this story. This is very serious because now I just received an alert from Patrick Humphrey, who's a great reporter here, down south. He posts information several times a day. He says that Biden just issued an alert that he's going to close down the shipping ports. Oh, really? Why would you have to close down all the shipping ports because of one problem? I don't know, guys. Seems like an agenda, like a plan. So what that means is I don't know what this shipping container was carrying. Was it carrying food, supplies, pet food? It was coming from Singapore. So whatever is processed, manufactured in Singapore that was coming to the United States, to Baltimore, is now stuck on this shipping container. We're not going to get it anytime soon because there has to be an investigation, right? You know about these investigations, how long they take. Okay, so that's horrible story. Horrible. So let's talk about stonewalling. So I asked my favorite ChatGPT AI, what? I said, tell me about stonewalling. What is it utilized for? And why do people use it? Okay. So the response is, let me get this better here so you can see this. It's very dark here because of the rain. Stonewalling, which is stonewalling, 2 words, is also simply known as stonewalling, 1 word. It's a communication behavior characterized by the refusal or avoidance of engaging in meaningful dialogue or discussion during a conversation or argument. It involves deliberately shutting down communication, often by remaining silent or providing minimal, non-committal responses. Okay? Judgy Pudgy was stonewalling me, including the guy that picked up the phone, kept me on hold, and then hung up on me. This is behavior that you want to... I'm telling you. I'm just going to tell you flat out. I was an HR manager in my past life. If one of my employees did that, even if I didn't like the client, if one of my employees did that to a client, even if I couldn't stand that client's guts, I would have fired them. I would have fired them on the spot. No joke. Not acceptable. I'm sorry. You might not like a client. You might not like an employee. You might not like a citizen in the community, but you do not engage in psychologically abusive behavior and deliberately shut down communication. No. That doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. You're going to be called out every friggin' day of the week. Okay? So, anyway, back to business. So here's the breakdown of its key features and when it's typically used. So one of the features of stonewalling is a refusal to engage. Individuals who engage in stonewalling actively avoid participating in conversation. They may refuse to respond to questions, offer explanations, or provide any form of feedback. Now, I'm just going to specify too, this happens in interpersonal relationships, with your marriage partner, with your partner, with your kids even. It might happen with your children. Oh, I'm just noticing a whole bunch of scratches these criminals did on my computer screen, here, my laptop screen. Even with your children, right? So it kind of reminds me of, have you ever seen like little children? Like a parent will ask them to do something and they'll cross their arms in front of them and pout. They'll pout and they won't respond. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Juvenile, infantile behavior. So there's emotional withdrawing. Stonewalling often involves emotional withdrawal, where the individual may exhibit signs of disinterest, detachment, indifference towards the conversation or other person involved. Minimal responses. When individuals do respond, their answers are usually brief, vague, or non-committal. They may provide monosyllabic responses or simply nod without offering any meaningful contribution to the discussion. Then there's blocking communication. Stonewalling serves as a barrier to effective communication, preventing resolution of conflicts or the exchange of ideas. It can be frustrating for the other party involved, leading to further tension and misunderstanding. You hear that? It is a barrier to effective communication, preventing the resolution of conflicts. So Judgy Pudgy and his whole staff was stonewalling me because they have no effective communication skills. They're engaging in very narcissistic behavior patterns and very juvenile and infantile, unprofessional to say the least, okay? Defensive behavior. Stonewalling is often employed as a defensive tactic, especially in situations where individuals feel overwhelmed, threatened, or unable to cope with the conversation's subject matter or emotional intensity. I'm sorry, folks. Okay, I'm just going to say that this Judgy Pudgy, his sole responsibility is the administration of all county government issues. So if he feels threatened or overwhelmed or unable to cope with the subject matter or is just too emotionally intensive, I say step down from your throne and hand it over to somebody who is emotionally mature and is professional to be able to handle what happens in the county. And that affects not only me personally, because this creek doesn't sit just at my property. You have to understand that it goes all the way down the county road. It deposits somewhere. It's not just in front of my property, because anything that falls in there is going to be carried down, all the way down. I can't tell you the street names and stuff. It's not going to be just on my property. That's the way water runs. It just doesn't sit there. It's going to be carried away. The power dynamics. In some cases, stonewalling may be used as a means of exerting control or dominance in a relationship by interaction. By refusing to engage, individuals attempt to manipulate the conversation's direction or maintain a sense of superiority. I'm sorry, guys. Please, tell me, am I wrong on this? Who is the superior person engaging in this? I'm asking intelligent questions of an administrator who's supposed to already have the answers to these questions. I wasn't answering questions that are off the chart. I wasn't asking questions that he would not know the answer to. Okay, you want to know why he wouldn't answer the questions? Because he knows damn well that he is responsible for the roads. He is responsible for applying for the grants. Oh, I forgot to mention, through a FOIA request, before it was taken offline, I found out that Judgy Pudgy was indeed lying to me in emails. He pretty much said that FEMA advised him how to construct that bridge that collapsed. FEMA. When I heard that, I thought that was total bullshit. Listen, we might not like FEMA, whatever, but they will never build a bridge like that. Never. I've actually met, when I lived in New Jersey after Hurricane Sandy, I met with a FEMA representative. They would never construct a bridge like that. I'm sorry. So he says, FEMA instructed them on they designed how to do that bridge. I'm thinking, no. So that's when I FOIA requested. I said, could you please send me the FEMA instructions. Well, lo and behold, there was no such thing. Judgy Pudgy never even applied for a road grant. Never happened. Lie, lie, lie. Total friggin' lies. Okay, so FEMA, on your behalf, please know that this judge lied and used your name and said that you told them, advised them how to build a bridge with a plastic corrugated tube under tons of gravel and asphalt, not reinstall the security, what do you call it, security, not bridge, the security guardrail that disappeared. I don't even know where it went. The security guardrail, just in case somebody drives down there, and because it's dark, there's no lighting there. What if somebody fell off the bridge? There's no guardrail there. So FEMA would never not install a guardrail there, and they certainly wouldn't put a piece of plastic and no rebar under a bridge. Who builds a bridge without rebar? Listen, I'm no civil engineer, but I wish my friend Helena Chorber were here. She would draw me a diagram. I'm no civil engineer, but I'm not ignorant either. That bridge needs rebar. And I even asked the people rebuilding it. I said, where's the rebar? There's no rebar. Oh, okay. Why is there no rebar? Those are the instructions we got. Oh, okay. Those instructions might have been from FEMA. FEMA said, guys, don't install the rebar. Just put this little plastic tube in there. Don't cover up the ends so that squirrels and small animals can make a nest in there, whatever. And, just leave it there so to pour on somebody else's property. Yeah. Good job. So, I don't know. If you feel you have a sense of superiority, Judgy Pudgy, I think you might need to seek some therapy, okay? So, escalation of conflict. Stonewalling can escalate conflicts by preventing the resolution of issues or by exacerbating feelings of frustration and resentment between the parties. Listen, I have no feelings of frustration or resentment. I think I mentioned that my mother taught me well. She said, Lorraine, just don't get angry. Get even. So I'm going to put it all in writing. And if you want to avoid your responsibilities and not take care of your responsibilities, I'm going to keep documenting it until you do. Or until it becomes such a problem you won't have any choice but to. And maybe then you'll have to call FEMA. Okay, maybe that's your plan. Maybe that's your goal. Oh, yeah, I know. You don't want me to sell the property, so you're going to do everything inhumanly possible to prevent that from happening. Okay, gotcha. Got the agenda here. And I guarantee you were instructed by some county other official who claims to be a lawyer to not answer any questions. Good job. You're doing a good job as judge administrator for the entire county. I vote. I'm going to raise my hand. We need a replacement. We need a replacement. We need somebody that is emotionally and professionally mature. We need an emotionally competent individual who can answer questions pertaining to the roads, the streams, the waterways, and the repairs. Okay? Because I guarantee I'm not the only one in this county complaining about the roads here. But hey, let's build a baseball field instead. Oh yeah, let's negotiate with McDonald's to bring some more white trash into the neighborhood. Yeah, let's bring in that genetically modified foods. Yeah, we need that like a hole in the head here. But hey, if it's the chemtrails aren't going to kill you off, the fast foods will. Thank you. I'll stick to my organic food very much. I won't be eating in town anytime soon. But anyway, I hope you appreciate my rant about stonewalling. So, in ending, my favorite AI says that stonewalling can occur in various contexts, including personal relationships, professional settings, and social interactions. It may arise during disagreements, arguments, or discussions about sensitive topics. Yeah, it's like really sensitive talking about repairing the roads. It's so sensitive. Individuals may resort to stonewalling as a coping mechanism when they feel overwhelmed or unable to effectively communicate their thoughts and feelings. Listen, Judge, I don't need to hear about your feelings. I don't need to hear about your thoughts. I just need to hear about what the functions are and what is your responsibility for the roads, the county creeks, and the repairs. And if there is vandalism to the county roads, creeks, retaining walls, etc. It's really very simple. You've been in your position for such a long time. People keep voting you in. I don't know why. Nothing's getting done around here. I don't know if anybody voted on McDonald's. Oh yeah, of course the people around here. Oh yeah, let's get a basketball. We gotta get a baseball field. Yeah, but let's not maintain the roads. Oh, let's. Why don't we refocus on priorities? Overall, while stonewalling may offer temporary relief from uncomfortable situations, it often impedes genuine communication and can strain relationships over time. Addressing underlying issues and fostering open, respectful dialogue is essential to overcoming the barriers created by stonewalling and promoting healthy communications dynamics. And I'm just going to reveal one more little tidbit. I have 2 human resources generalist certifications, and one is from Cornell. And when I attended Cornell for my human resources certification, we would have literally groups. They would divide us into groups. And we would have real life situations, okay? So what the instructor would do is they would create a ruckus in the workplace. They would create it. We were all role players here, okay? So they would create the ruckus. They would have groups of people arguing and stuff. And I'm watching the whole dynamic go on and stuff. And of course, I don't know, I was picked on to come in and resolve the problem. Yeah, me. And I did. Because that's what I do. I do it really well. I negotiate well. And I work with people well. And when you deal with people like this that want to mess around, I'm not going to mess around. Resort to placing everything in writing, getting certified letters, and if they choose to ignore it, then it always falls back on them. The karma falls back on them. They can't say that they didn't hear about it. They can't say that they didn't know about it. They can't say that whatever reason, okay? When it comes to a government or a county, and especially here in Kentucky, I'm on the mailing list for the governor. I get these mailing newsletters all the time about how much money they're giving out to counties, and they'll name the county for road work. All the time. I have never seen our county on any communication since I'm living here for road work, road repairs, creek, waterways, because there are a lot of waterways in Kentucky. A lot. It's just not roads. A lot of waterways here. I've never seen one. Know why? Nobody ever applies for the grants here. Nobody ever applies for the funding. Why? Why would somebody not do that? Even pay somebody to do it, to file for the grants. Hey, if they could file for gang stalking grants, they can certainly file for grants to repair the roads. And you all know what I mean. Gang stalking, community-based harassment, torture, harassment, asset stripping, setting people up. They pay for that. They'll pay your neighbors to harass you. They'll pay your neighbors to trespass your property because they're trying to get a reaction. They're trying to get me to act in a way that is incompatible with who I am. Well, I'm sorry, guys. It's not working. Try something else. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. Please tell me if you've experienced stonewalling, whether it's into your interpersonal relationships. And I guess I'm I'm speaking to the choir here. If you're a targeted person, it happens to you all the time. Right, it happens when you file an incident report and you get a FOIA request and it's empty. Or when you file a police report and you give them the address, the block, and the description of the person that just trespassed and vandalized your property, and they don't go. Or they don't come to your property to photograph the vandalism. It's called stonewalling. Okay? That's okay. We just record and publish the information. That's it. That's all we can do. Can't do anything else. And then we've got to get on with our lives, document it, and move on. So I look forward to your questions and comments. This is getting longer than I expected, and there's a miracle happening outside. The rain stopped. I actually see some sunshine. So I'm going to run because I've got stuff to do. I hope everybody is well. Thank you, everybody, for your comments, and I'm going to sign off for now. Please hit the thumbs up.